Are we live? I think I'm live. Okay, I'm definitely live. Okay. Let me make sure my mic is good. John the Don in the house. What's up, man? What's up, John? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. My Tuesday has been problematic so far. It's been a trying week. Hope your week has been a lot easier than mine. Mine has been pretty frustrating to be honest. Spider 13 was good. Just good afternoon, SloMo. Just working some Excel. Oh man, hey. Sounds like you working, John. Got that Microsoft Excel loaded up. It's just been good so far, Just. Hey, look, man, I everyone's gotta have a better week than me. I have let me start from last week where I got sick. So I got sick last week. And in being sick, I ended up my son brought something home. I got sick, couldn't do DPS. We told Forte, hey, look, maybe we could try it for Friday, right? Friday, I was no better. Saturday, not much better. Sunday, I started to get a little better, but I was like, I could barely speak kind of stuff. But Monday, I was good. What's up, Yobi? What's up, man? I was good on, just a cold, no COVID. COVID test was negative, so I gotta, be thankful for that. But and Yobi, appreciate you sharing the stream out. I appreciate you, sir. John said, yeah, working and documenting, but working at my own pace today so I can tune in. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So just I woke up yesterday morning real early, like 4 a.m, to this high-pitched, like screeching sound coming from the basement. And I'm just like, yo, what is going on? Like, what is happening? I'm like, I went to bed late, so it wasn't like I was like full. Like, I mean, it's 4 a.m, so you're not fully rested. But still, it wasn't like I got like good rest already. I went to bed like at like 1, so only had like 3 hours of sleep. And I'm just like, yo, what is happening? And then I go downstairs and I'm trying to pinpoint this high pitched, like, screeching sound, and I can't figure it out. And I'm just trying to find, and I realize it's originating from my office. And I'm like, yo, what's good? I'm going in my office. I admit it's got a lot more cleaned up now. My office looks better now, due to what happened. But like, I'm like trying to figure it out, and I'm like, oh snap! Like, there's water coming in my office. I see it. And then that's when I realized that the high-pitched sound is my sump pump alarm going off. And so, like, just, long story short, I got 2 sump pumps in my house. I got a big main sump pump that the house was built with. And then I got a secondary sump pump that I had installed because the main sump pump, I don't know, maybe my house was just built on, like, a lake or something. It's built on the Anacostia River or something, because like when it rains, it's like ridiculous rain here, but like and it takes forever for like my house to drain that water out to the sewer system. But the biggest issue is that like my main sump pump just couldn't handle all the water, so I had to have a secondary one put in the area of my office. Just so happened to be my office, because I need 2 sump pumps. It's just that much water that's like around the foundation of my house. So all that's it. the sump pump failed. And so I spent yesterday morning trying, like with buckets and stuff, trying to get water out as the water's coming in through the sump pump, like reservoir hole or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like carrying like heavy gallons of water upstairs and then out, so I and taking it out away from the house and going back and doing it again until I could get a plumber over to service the sump pump, figure out what's going on. Long story short, I had to buy a new sump pump. So yeah, that's where I'm at, man. Since the last time you guys heard me, this is a new mic. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. This mic might go back. I try to, get fancy. I was trying to upgrade the stream, trying to, let you guys be like, man, SloMo really putting time in. The audio's great, and I got a new mic. I got like this software that's supposed to be doing all this post-processing kind of stuff behind the scenes to make it sound all good. And every time I do a test recording, I'm like, nah, man, I don't see how this is that much better. I might just go back to the old Audio Technica, man. It was doing me well. You said nothing damaged from exposure to the water. No. Well, some things were. I had some network equipment that was just kind of like my own personal stuff. But it was a little old. I hadn't used it in years. But that stuff, unfortunately, got destroyed with the water that came in. I had a lot of boxes from things that I had purchased like over time, and I just had them stacked in the corner. And I was like, I'm eventually take all this stuff out, right? And I just kept not doing it, and until water came in and water damage like ruined the boxes, and was like, okay, so the water said it's time to take it out. So yeah, I had to throw some things out, but it was nothing essential that I really needed. I said, you sounding a little sick. I am still kind of recovering from the cold I had, but I don't know if me sounding sick is because I was sick or because of this new mic and this program I'm using, I'm running, look, I might just go back to my old mic. I might do that. I might have to just go back to the old mic. What's up, Cat Daddy? What's up, man? What's up, Lady Foxfire? Erodimus in the house. What's up, y'all? What's up? And I was just like, I need to go live. I haven't gone live in a minute. We missed DPS. We missed DPS. There was like so much to talk about, and it didn't need to happen because I was sick. But still, at the same time, it's just like, man, there was so much. And I don't want to speak on too much of that stuff because I know me and Forte will get into it. And I don't want to, like, some of the things that I want to talk about, I'm not going to go into full detail because I'm making a video on a few of these things. But we're going to discuss some stuff. We're going to discuss some stuff. He said, thankfully not too much damage, but hope you can get things replaced also. Like the stuff that did get damaged, I'm not even going to replace it. Like, I had 2 old Cisco network switches that they were destroyed due to the water damage, but I wasn't tripping because I wasn't even using them no more. I have a test bench in my office where if I want to kind of like test out some configurations, test out a running configuration on a router and a switch and put it all together, I could do that. I had about 3 switches and 2 routers, and basically only 2 of the older switches got damaged and are no longer usable. So I still got another 2 routers and another switch to work with. So it's not going to bother me too much. What's up, Web Dave? Thanks, man. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Dave. I am feeling better. I do feel a bit better. The voice though, I don't know if what you guys are hearing right now is just the fact that this new mic just ain't as good as the old mic, maybe, or the software I'm running just isn't that good. It's just weird. You know, we can say this sometimes, right? It's hard to you buy things and then you have like you look at reviews, and I learned this years ago that you can't trust all reviews you see online, because a lot of reviewers are bought and paid for. And so I have very few sources that when they say something, I'm like, yeah, I believe it's true because they said it. Whatever this is, I sound great. Thank you. Dang, you all right? Right, you know, more than likely, because I try to be a perfectionist, or at least I attempt to be. I'm probably going to listen to this on playback and be like, yeah. But that's also kind of because I don't really like my voice like that. So I'm always like ill when I hear myself. But at the same time, it's just whatever. Anyway, if I sound great, I sound great. I hope it's everyone feels the same. It's Dave. But so like the mic I got, a lot of people say the mic's awesome. I'm like, to be determined for me. The software I'm using, everyone says it's amazing. It's great. It's like the next best thing to a Go XLR. Well, I'm like, okay, all right. So far, not too impressed. My PC, don't like it. Stuff is like, I've been troubleshooting things left and right. Shout out to a number of different people in Discords that I frequent that have been helping me work through the little issues, the naggles, the niggles of the software. But it's all right. It's all right. So Lady Fox says, yeah, you sound great, but you usually always sound great. But I don't really know the difference in this upgrade. I'm just, I usually sound. I think you guys are trying to just make me feel better. That's what I think this is. I've had a rough week. You guys are just like, let's pump SloMo up. What's up, Prime House? What's going on, man? Let's just pump SloMo up, make me feel awesome. Let's see, I tagged you in the tweet. These are the headphones I use. I have an Audio Technica headphone. Let's see. Let's look at this. You have the ATH M50. Man, this is a long one. M50X STS XLR. Stream set. That's a whole set, huh? Yeah, my Audio Technica is an AT2020 is USB. I know there's an XLR version. I did briefly get the Elgato Wave XLR. Wasn't all too impressed, and I returned it. Well, the mic I'm on right now, the mic I'm using at this moment is an Elgato Wave 3, and this is the mic that everybody was like, it's fantastic, it's amazing, it changed my life. This is the mic that made me sound like a love talking slow jams DJ. And I got the voice of Urkel. And it's just like, really? It does that? That's possible? I don't know. And I'm like, we'll see. I'm very, here's the thing is that I'm the kind of person that when I know what I like, and I kind of usually stick with it. I had the Audio Technica AT2020 for 5 years. I got it. It was great. Everyone was like, hey, your mic's awesome. Thank you. That's what I needed to hear. And I just stuck with it. I stuck with it for a long time. And it's just the main reason why I made a change. It wasn't because the mic I thought was failing me. It's because OBS was failing me. And I needed software or a device or something to handle some of the load of things I was trying to get OBS to do. And every other time I would go live, something with OBS would not be working correctly, and I'd just be like, yo, I can't. And I was just getting frustrated, and I'm trying to host DPS, and I'm playing it like back, and I'm like, I'm not satisfied with the way the show went. And it's nothing that Forte did. Forte's great. It's me, and it's my setup, and it's my crap, and I'm just like, let me fix this stuff. And it's still to be determined on that. I think it's fixed, but if you guys think it's fantastic, I love it. You know, we'll see if this turns out to be the permanent setup or if it's just temporary. But appreciate you guys for coming through. Absolutely appreciate you guys for coming through. Appreciate you guys for tweeting out the stream. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You haven't subscribed yet. I'm usually pretty low key, chill kind of dude. For the most part, some people would tell you that is a lie. He's crazy. I'm not crazy for the most part. But we're gonna get into these topics. let's just double check this. Oh yeah, because I basically riddled these off in like 30 seconds. I can't say this guy's first name. But I know his last name is Kamaya, and I think he's overrated. So I'm gonna say that too. Sorry for those who like Platinum Games. I think Platinum Games is overrated, and I also think that their leading man, or previously their leading man, their previous guy, Kamaya, is overrated. Yo, B, thank you for the membership. 13 months. Good Yo, B. Out here, 13 months, 10%. That's what I'm talking about. Kamaya has left Platinum. Hideki, thank you, John. That's how it is. Hideki Kamaya. And Mr. Kamaya has done the Wonderful 101. I mean, he's done a lot of games for Platinum, and just overall, I'll say this about Platinum. The reason why I say they're overrated is because people kind of consider them like to be like this high quality studio, but almost every time I see or hear of them or of their games coming out and seeing projects that they are attached to, there's always some kind of controversy going on. There's always some drama going on. I've been waiting for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink for years. Waiting for this game for years. Saw that Platinum was supposed to be support studio with the studio name is it's gonna come back to me. But Platinum was supposed to be a support studio on this game, and then they got, very weirdly, it was an announcement, which who does this, right? If a support studio stops working for you, nobody announces this. It's just like, all right, well, we had a contract with them for a year. They worked with us for a year. We're moving on. But instead, this was different. This was like, no, we're announcing that the contract with Platinum is over. They're not working with us no more on this game. And then we're going to assume those areas that they were doing, and we're going to delay the game. That don't sound like this was planned. That don't sound like you intended on them stopping their support with you before the game released. It sounds like Platinum wasn't holding up their end of the bargain, which isn't the first time they haven't held up their end of the bargain. Hello, Scalebound, which I still think the game stunk. It didn't look good to me, and at no point did I ever think that Scalebound looked good. But Platinum has always been very much like, and only two of their games I can say I really like. I like Nier Automata. Never played Nier Replicant. I know that's supposed to be coming out in PS Plus soon or something. I still have PS Plus because I paid for a year before I canceled it. So I could download Near Replicant and give it a shot. Maybe I'll like it. I don't know. Who knows, right? Did they even make Near Replicant? Because I know, you know what, whatever. Anyway, I like Nier Automata. I liked Astral Chain, even though Astral Chain didn't turn out to be as good as I thought it would be. Regardless, Platinum, I just don't think they're that good. And I'm not saying that they're awful. I'm not saying they stink. There are definitely some developers that stink. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're overrated because their success to failure rates like 50-50 at best. And so when you get this arrogant guy who likes to block everybody on Twitter and thinks he's the best thing ever to video game development, and he leaves, and then like, why he leave? I'm leaving because of like my core beliefs or some crap. And I'm just like, what the heck does that mean? What do you mean? I mean, you've been working at Platinum for forever. Did something change with Platinum that now you feel like your core beliefs are being challenged? I mean, you guys have made trash licensed games. You didn't feel your core values were challenged then. You guys have made games that have completely bombed, like Babylon's Fall. You didn't think your core values were challenged then. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe whatever, you know, who. All I'm saying is that I just found it weird. This announcement was made yesterday in the midst of me trying to keep my basement from being flooded. Every now and then I'm checking my phone and I'm seeing people like, oh, Kamaya, we're going to miss you. And I'm like, oh, he said he was leaving. He didn't say he was retiring video game development forever. I mean, he might show up somewhere else. Maybe he'd be working for Capcom or something. I don't know, right? Yeah, act like he died, like he's dead. You're never going to see him ever again. Well, maybe you won't see him ever again. Who knows? Maybe he did some stuff. And this was them like, hey, look, we're going to let you save face and leave with some dignity. But we ain't going to talk about what you did. Because what you did was foul. And you're blacklisted from the video game industry, right? It's not, I don't know. Like, it's not, I don't know if it's on that level. I just kind of figured like he ain't dead, so I don't know why everybody's all like, that Kamaya, that Platinum, whatever will we do? This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna keep playing the games that you're playing, and then you're gonna not care about Platinum games and only remember them when they come out with a game that didn't live up to expectations. That's what you're gonna do, okay? You're just gonna go live in your life because it ain't that big a deal. It's just not. It ain't that serious. So, yeah. I probably should have played some gameplay of a Platinum game, but I ain't got none because let me stop being mean. I feel like I'm being mean. I don't have any gameplay for. I think I might have some Nier Automata gameplay in my 18 terabyte external hard drive storage. I might have that. Arama says, so you don't find it funny he left Platinum Games when Phil is in Japan, and I think he coming to work at the new Xbox studio and bring back Scalebound? Aradimus. Okay. Aradimus. The world we live in, this planet, 70% water, drinkable water, but 70% water, 30% land, does not revolve around Xbox and Phil Spencer. I need you Xbox guys to understand this. The world does not revolve around Xbox. Phil Spencer being in Japan is cool. He goes to Japan like once a year. I'm pretty sure he got his own Airbnb that he always goes to. I'm sure he hits his favorite spots for the favorite food every single time. I'm sure everyone knows his name when he shows up there, because he goes there he goes there once a year. He goes there. He tries to drum up business for Xbox. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it is not. But first of all, why do you want Kamai? Let's just unpack that. Leaving Platinum Games to go work with Xbox at a new, unannounced, fictional studio to bring back Scalebound, which looked like a fake Dante clone, popping pimples on a dragon's butt cheeks. That's what Scalebound looked like. This is a good thing? Prime House, I knew you would get it. Sometimes I knew you would get the reference. You old just like me. You got me. No, I don't think this has anything to do with Xbox. I just don't. It's cool that, Phil's in Japan. I saw some pictures this morning. He's hanging out with, Kojima. They taking pictures with Starfield suits and stuff. They're all posing and great, And I'm pretty sure at some point they talked about this cloud game that he's making. And I'm pretty sure it is going to be the overrated game as usual, because it's Kojima and everyone's going to act like he's a genius when he's just going to do some really random stuff and name characters really dumb names like Die Hard Man, and it'll be a new character in his new game called Pick Up the Trash Man, and he's a trash man, but he's like got this huge whole zen-like mentality about life, and he thinks picking up trash is a metaphor, like stupid stuff like that. Like, it's not gonna make any sense. And y'all gonna call him a genius, even though when Death Stranding came out, y'all called him crazy. And then the people who love Death Stranding gonna say the Xbox Cloud game is him. He's over the hill. He's jumped the shark. Y'all know how y'all do these things. I'm just gonna be consistently saying that you never go full Kojima. Yeah, you never go full Kojima. And ever since he left Konami, he been going full Kojima. Def Floyd said, "Can't be Trash Man. That was my nickname in middle school." What? Why was your nickname Trash Man, Def Floyd? You're gonna have to tell that story at some point. Kat says, "I was sincerely excited for Scalebound, but I did know the glory of PC gaming yet, so it looked good to me." Oh, that makes a little sense. Although I also really didn't know the glory of PC gaming at that time, and I still thought it was like, so they basically just put some headphones on Dante from Devil May Cry. That's about it. Man, yeah. Ramen says, "I'm starting to see a pattern here, SloMo, of you hating on Japanese directors." Well, I don't hate on all of them, just the ones that say problematic things like Yoshi P. What's the guy's name? Is it Katase? I saw the comments made recently by the lead directors on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and one of them, Nomura, who is his games are up and down, I'm saying, but Nomura said that he echoed Yoshi P's feelings about the term JRPG, and Katase, I guess I said it not right, I don't know if it did not, said, I get it. I get why the people call it. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's derogatory, which is, I agree. So, I don't hate on all of them, and I don't even call it hating. I'm just calling it keeping it a buck. And keep it a buck. Kojima's a bit overrated. A tad of a lot. Anyway, let's move on. What else? What else is on the docket here? Excuse me. First Descendant impressions. Okay, so I played a lot of First Descendant. Even when I was sick, I drugged my sick behind. When I was conscious, I would drag my sick behind out of bed, and I would go play a little bit of First Descendant. The gameplay loop is fun. It's fun, right? This is the gameplay you've been watching. Matter of fact, I'll play something else because this has been like the same one. I want you guys to kind of see what's different about. Which one is this? Please don't let this be me dying. Oh no, this is good gameplay. Great. So yeah, so First Descendant is a solid looter shooter. And when I first played it last year, it didn't really hit me when I was playing it, but after I got done playing it, when the beta was over, I wanted to play more. And that always leaves a good impression with me, tells me that they did something right? This one, I would say on PC, it performs better. I didn't notice a ton of bugs. I think the audio could use a little work, but it wasn't a buggy game. And I think this is probably the best performing Unreal Engine 5 game there is so far. Which is like, hey, I mean, that's the Nexon, who makes this game, should, stand up and accept a standing ovation, because there's not too many Unreal Engine 5 games coming out right now that aren't basically crippling people's PCs and making these consoles look like Nintendo Switches. Cassidy's, I'm down to run some today. Today was the day the open beta has ended, and so no more open beta, unfortunately, and we might get a release date soon from them, but I'm thinking more than likely they're gonna take a lot of the feedback in and then see what changes they might want to make, and then they'll let us know. So I think we'll probably get a release date before the end of the year, but I don't anticipate it coming out this year. I'm thinking like next year, and here's why. Because as much as I'm enjoying the game, as much as I think the Descendants are cool, and I'm not like the homie Big Mike, who is only looking at one part of a portion of the Descendants. I think they are cool because they're all very different, and unlike, there are people out here who are saying that the game is soulless, which I don't even think the people who say that even know what that freaking means. When they play Destiny, and you're playing Destiny and your character doesn't have any personality whatsoever. He made your character in over 10 years of Destiny existing may have said like 20 words, and you're calling other games soulless. And these characters all have different whatever, right? What I will say, and this is not positive, and this is the part of the reason why I think the game needs to cook for a little while. If they decide, I would hate to see it, but if they decided, we're not going to drop until like early 2025, I will understand. I just hit my mic. I hope you guys can hear that. I would understand. And here's why. Because there is nothing, and I mean nothing, in the First Descendant that you haven't already seen. Now, technically, maybe you haven't seen it, because not everyone plays everything. But if you are big into looter shooters, you've seen this all before. The gameplay I'm showing right now, this gameplay is a kind of a horde mode. You gotta protect a particular device or a position from different waves that are coming at you. Yeah, if you play Warframe, you know exactly what this is. You've played this before. This is the same mode in Warframe where you protect a sleeping Warframe from the enemies that are trying to attack him. And that's where they got this from. a lot of the gameplay and the modes and the mission designs in First Descendant come from Warframe. The entire format of having characters where you the way you unlock them, it's Warframe. The abilities, you see in the middle of the bottom of the screen, there's 4 abilities. And you unlock them over time as you're leveling the character up. Warframe does the same thing. This game borrows heavily from Warframe. And that's not necessarily a negative, because if you're borrowing something that's good, well, that's all right. I mean, there's nothing super like especially when it comes to AAA development, there's nothing super unique in AAA development anymore. Everything is borrowed from something else because publishers are gun shy. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a game, and they're not going to invest that kind of money on projects or ideas that aren't proven. It's just, they're businessmen. They're not gamers. So they're going to go and they're only going to jump on projects that are proven. And Warframe is a proven looter shooter that's been around for a decade. Destiny's a proven looter shooter that's been around for a decade. If your game borrows heavily from both of those games, then publishers are probably going to be like, sure, thumbs up. With Destiny, literally the story is, the premise, the plot, very, very similar to Destiny. The way the missions work, you go into these hub, these little hub worlds, and you go around and you activate missions. It's no different than the hub world areas on planets in Destiny where you're going around doing patrols. It's the exact same format. And so I say all this to say that with First Descendant, they need to develop something that's unique. What they're doing right now, it's solid, it's quality, but it's 100% borrowed from something else. And they need to have something that differentiates it from its competitors, because if you're just doing Warframe and Destiny, for people who play Warframe and Destiny, well, why should I play this? I got Warframe and Destiny. I can just play Warframe or Destiny. Why am I going to play your game? Or, and you know what? And I've said this, and I think this is kind of like a minority opinion. This game could still be successful despite it not having anything unique to it, just because the characters look cool, and you got guys like our homie Big Mike who are going to be indulging in a lot of kind of Google searches on these characters of questionable fan art, right? So that's a thing. That's a possibility. But as far as the staying power as a game, you gotta come out with something that's unique. And I don't want to just jump out there and just bring up, because people are, here you go, you're about to bring up The Division. But yeah, I'm gonna bring up The Division, right? Because The Division 1 did stuff that was unique. Survival mode. No one else had did anything like that before. The Dark Zone. No one else had did anything like that before. These were underground with procedurally generated sewer system maps where it was different every single time, having hunters coming out and randomly attacking you. All this stuff was unique and hadn't been done before, and has been copied by Destiny and Warframe and other looter shooters that saw that, hey, that's a good idea. We should probably incorporate that. There's nothing in First Descendant that Bungie's gonna be like, yeah, we need to incorporate that. Well, but with a very nice looking female character model with a bubble butt. A lot of us wouldn't mind seeing that in Destiny, but I don't think Bungie's gonna be like, that's great game design. We need to incorporate that. Like you gotta come with something that gives. Now, hey, maybe this is what people meant when they called the game soulless. Maybe. But like you gotta come with something that is unique to you, that no one else has, and do it amazing. Nail it. The execution has to be on point. And so because of that, I kind of feel like I kind of want them to delay it a little bit further than 2024, because I don't think developing something like that can be done in like a year. I don't think that's possible. You're going to need to give it a little bit more time. So, and since I brought up The Division 3. The Division 3 is officially in development. And this wasn't news to me. Like, I was aware of this already. I should, do I have any of my gameplay with my headshot build or one shot kill build? I actually I did my most successful TikTok, and I mean I'm not even on TikTok like that a lot, but I had this TikTok that was just like amazing, and it was funny because actually, you know what? Let me go find this video. People complain about the Division 2 and the Division 1 and say they're like the enemies are bullet spongy. And I mean, yes or no, they kind of are bullet spongy, but then they're kind of not. They're bullet spongy if you have a trash build and you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. They're not bullet spongy if you got a good build that you min-maxed and optimized well, and you can just melt through enemies pretty quickly. Or you can just straight, just mollywop everybody. It's fairly easy. Is this it? Is this the gameplay? Please don't be me dead as soon as I turn this on. I'm not dead. Excellent. Okay. All right, so Glacian, what's going on? Prime says people gotta admit that it lasted longer than a lot of people expected. I am definitely excited to see what's in store for Division 3. So look, I know a few things about the Division 3, some things. So I wasn't surprised at all when they made that announcement. If anything, I was surprised they made that announcement when they did. I was aware that Massive Entertainment, who makes the Division, was all in. Like we saw this last June, the Ubisoft showcase. Like Massive was on full display, and Massive, because they were on full display because they were out here showing Avatar, big AAA game. Defloid, all right, peace out, Defloid. Take care, man. Avatar's coming out in December. They showed off Star Wars Outlaws, which looked amazing. Another big AAA game. So here's this big studio, about the size of Bungie, like 800 plus developers, who are working on 2 AAA games at once. Do they have, and both of these AAA games are licensed titles. And so, how was there time for the Division? And then you look at, like, I mean, I'm not saying Massive Entertainment is carrying Ubisoft. They're not. But although these games might have to carry Ubisoft, Ubisoft was prior to them making this whole Xbox cloud gaming deal, was in a very precarious position. I mean, Assassin's Creed is what it is. It sells. And Rainbow Six Siege has been going on for forever. And it's another game they always sell that sells a lot. Is that it? Just Dance, I guess. I guess that's great, right? I don't know. But Massive Entertainment they're the ones who made the Snowdrop engine, which they're now kind of starting to use everywhere, because it's a really good engine. It's a bit demanding, but it's easier on the development side of things for them, so it allows them to get like really visually impressive looking games out the door faster, which is what Ubisoft needs. And like just Massive just really like delivers. And so from what I was told back, like this is like in January, that the Division had like a skeleton crew of less than 30 people that were working on Division 3. That they were looking at some really innovative ideas on the third iteration of the game. That the campaign would have some ideas, where I struggle to say how it was said to me. I think it was like mission structure would be bigger, where missions, an entire mission could go from like different areas, like inside buildings than outside buildings, that kind of deal. They would have ideas about having it a little different, where it's more player agency in your campaign. It's not just you looking at, cutscenes in the story. And the Division story ain't been the best. It's never been the best. But so choices can be made, and that could make your campaign different than someone else's. And these are things that might get dropped. I mean, this is all in like pre-production. They weren't even in production. These are ideas they had. Rescoping over time could definitely like remove those things out if it's just not working right. But from what I was told, the Division 3 wouldn't start in production until Star Wars Outlaws went gold, because they need the bulk of Massive Entertainment working on those two games. And they probably would have some people moving over after Avatar to the Division 3, but more than likely those people will be moving over to Star Wars Outlaws to help Star Wars Outlaws get out on time. And then when Star Wars Outlaws went gold, then they will work on Division 3 in earnest. And it will probably take about 3 years at that point for Division 3 to come out. So we're really kind of looking at like 2027. We're looking at like going into next generation when Division 3 will come out, which still might be the case, honestly. And that's why I was a tad bit shocked that they made the announcement. Julian Garrity, who's now he was the lead director on Division 2, I think one of the directors on Division 1, but not the lead dude. And then now he is also like lead director on Star Wars Outlaws, but he has been placed as like the executive producer over the Division franchise. So he's not directly working on Division 3, but he's just kind of maintaining it, which I kind of trust the work Julian has done. So I'm not shocked by that at all. What's up, Gregor? Says they had to do something with all those trash bag assets. Haha. Look, man. Look. You gotta have trash bags in New York, right? That sounds terrible. I don't mean it like that. No one in New York be offended by that. In an apocalypse where the public services where they take trash out isn't getting done, then yeah, you're gonna have a lot of trash bags everywhere. I mean, it makes sense to me. Anyway, the fact that they can pack all that detail in the environment should say a lot. So anyway, the purpose of what I'm saying is that, like, it seems like, and they said this, that they were building up a new team to do Division 3, which still would be under Massive Entertainment, but it looks like they're expanding Massive and making them even more massive. For a new team to take that on, which means they understand that it's going to take way too long for this to come out. Division 2 came out in what, like 2018, 2019? It's been 4 years, and you're just really moving into production. Like when they started production on Division 2 3 months after Division 1 released. Think about that. So like, this is already way late, super late. And the Division community has already felt slighted when they went an entire year with zero content, zero new content, zero communication of what was happening. You know, if the franchise was dead, the game was dead, or anything. And so I guess they're trying to avoid that again by building a new team that's going to handle the game, and they will be potentially supported by the other massive developers that are working on these other games, licensed games, after they finish those games. Or kind of what I'm kind of thinking here, they already got an idea. They want to do sequels for the Avatar game. They want to do sequels for the Star Wars game. And so those people working on those games can't move to the Division, because instead they're going to have to start working on these sequels. And so Massive is just becoming very easily the most important developer for Ubisoft. So I just think that's what's going on there. And I see the last thing I want to talk about, and then I probably play it. Cyberpunk 2077, right? The 2.0 impressions. I have not played Phantom Liberty. Maybe I will play Phantom Liberty. I'm gonna double check things will work. Make sure work isn't for me. Okay. All right. Well, you know, here we are. Work is asking, but so I probably won't be able to play Cyberpunk, but what I can do. What is this? Hey, don't beat me dead. There we go. All right, so far with 2.0, that's all I played was 2.0. I haven't played Phantom Liberty yet, like I said. Can't wait to play Phantom Liberty. But the changes with 2.0, I thought I prepared myself well. I went in and I took screenshots of all of the skill tree, and not skill tree, but my skills. I took screenshots of my gear. I said, this is CD Projekt Red. More than likely, there's going to be a problem or something. And I'm going to be like upset because I don't remember what I did for certain things and whatnot. So let me go ahead and just prepare myself ahead of time. Not prepared enough. I knew that more than likely, because the skill trees are so different than the way they had skills set up, that they were just going to reallocate all of your attributes back to you and all of your perks back to you, and then tell you to just input all that stuff in again. But you can't really input all that stuff in again, because they've changed the skill tree so drastically that you can't really, like, you have an idea and where to put some of that stuff, but not quite to the degree that you had it before. Another thing that annoyed me, probably the biggest thing that annoyed me with the update, was I had 800. I'm not even joking. The max docs is basically like an inhaler, like an asthma inhaler. You just kind of puff it and you get health back. I had, like, my crafting game was on point in this game. I had like 800 of the highest, like, rated like max docs. So when I went into combat, never had to worry about me running out. Not that I really had to worry about much anyway, but my build basically barely allows anyone to attack me back. But if I got into prolonged fights, I had that on deck. Do y'all know they deleted all of that? You gonna delete 800 heals? I had 800 max. You deleted 800 of them. And what did you leave me with? 2. Freaking 2. Like, are you 800? Nah, 2. Crap is that? Man, let me skip ahead. Cause I did a mission with forgot that guy's name. And there wasn't too much shoot bang bang going on. You that was egregious. Like, I'm sorry, I was really upset about that. The skill tree stuff, I'm not so upset about. I understand where they're going with it, and I do like some of the changes. Like, for example, with the so for those who don't quite understand, in the universe of Night City and Cyberpunk, you got people who get cybernetics, and you got some people, it's like almost like in people who get like a ton of tattoos, like they get addicted to it. They get more cybernetics. It's a thing called cyberpsychosis. And what cyberpsychosis is when you get too many cybernetics, your brain cannot maintain the functions of you living and keeping you sane, also while maintaining and managing all of these additional cybernetics that are in your system. Your brain starts to deteriorate, and then you start to go crazy. And so there's a whole little like sub arc within the game, which I have 100% completed. Like, I've hunted down all the cyber psychos, but you work with this former cop who's like a bounty hunter, and her whole job is hunting down cyber psychos, but she kind of wants you to like bring them in alive so they can test them and find out like a cure to cyber psychosis. I have to admit, I killed the majority of them, sorry. But regardless of that, the purpose was always to, try to find a cure. But cyberpsychosis is rough, and whole police squads have been wiped out by cyber psychos. And you go in and alive it like tense situations. You just see dead bodies all over the place, and some dude at the end of an alley like ranting like crazy with like body parts all over the place because they just literally ripped everyone apart, and you take them out. But I say all that to say that your character in the game is kind of like a plot hole in Cyberpunk, because you had the ability to literally get your entire body kitted out with cybernetics, and it never affected you mentally in the game. Now the difference now is that it can affect you. And you actually see a little meter that goes up every time you put more cybernetics in, or you upgrade the cybernetics. You can actually upgrade some of the cybernetics that you get. You can, every time you do something like that, you inch closer to cyberpsychosis, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm glad they put that in. They also have, if you watch the anime with Edge Runners, they also have a thing where you can kind of go above your limit with the cyberpsychosis and with your cybernetics. So although you may get some impaired functionality, that you're still able to do more. And I do like how there's like a capstone skill. It's kind of they've modified the skill trees in a way that makes it more like Borderlands, but in a massive way, because Borderlands would have, let's say you have one Vault Hunter, okay, and that one Vault Hunter has 3 skill trees, and you can pick and choose what you want and kind of go down that skill tree and then kind of like blend it in with one of the other skill trees to kind of make your unique build. But you only have those 3 for that character. Now in Cyberpunk, you have 3 skill trees per attribute. So for example, cool, which is more like stealth and stuff like that. There's 3 skill trees for that. For the intelligence, there's quick hacks and stuff like that. There's skill trees for that specifically. And although they do have like max levels like 50, you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to use and what drawbacks you would have for not putting points in somewhere else. Your skill level or your total level in say for example crafting. If you don't in crafting, if you gotta have between 20, you gotta have a level 20 in crafting to hit like the highest tier part of a skill tree. And so you have to kind of pick and choose which higher parts of the skill tree am I actually going to use. Because if you don't, like, you got to kind of pick and figure it out so that like you could, what's most important to you, what's going to work for you kind of thing. So I do like that. I do like those things. I still just kind of mourn my 800 max docs that I lost. I haven't got I haven't got through it enough to be able to like see the new stuff for the monowire. Then like this is what I'm using to murder everybody here is the monowire. I haven't got the new things for it yet, but I'm gonna. I have it I've only played like 2 hours of it so far, 2-3 hours, and I haven't done Phantom Liberty as I said. But as I get deeper in it, I'm going to see whether I have a third playthrough. That's what was like pure Netrunner. But I got some ideas now with the way they did the skill trees. How I'm going to take it from pure Netrunner and kind of make it a little different. But I like it. I like it. I like the changes that they made. I think they're good changes. I think with the way they made their improvements, that even more people keep coming back to this game. I'm about to actually get killed right there because I did something stupid. But no, they're doing things for the game that extends that game's life, because most games that come out in 3 years ago, ain't nobody playing them now. That's one. And two, most games that released the way this game released didn't have they were dead games in 6 months. And here this game is in 2023 and it's still going strong. And CDPR is really putting a lot of work in to make sure that like the things that people wanted were there and to keep it going in advance. Like when I played the new update, and I played it with DLSS 3.5, I could now like play Cyberpunk on my PC with the 3080 with ray tracing on and play it at 60 FPS. And that's like actually a little bit over 60 FPS, but because I don't use, I kind of like have like optimized settings and like just going straight max settings, but like that's pretty amazing. And clearly it's not quite ready for prime time. This is the first game to use DLSS 3.5. The very impressive ray reconstruction isn't available for ray tracing. It's only available in path tracing, which I cannot run at a playable frame rate on my PC. But I did go on GeForce Now and I ran it on GeForce Now's 4080, and you know, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. Now max settings, it didn't stay at over 60. So I had path tracing on, full max settings, path tracing on, and you know what? I should have turned on frame generation. I didn't do that. Maybe I'll test that later. But I had DLSS 3.5 on and ray reconstruction on, and I was getting like 50 to 55 frames per second. That's what I was getting on a 4080. Extremely demanding. But like, they need to get that ray reconstruction working for not just path tracing, because there aren't enough games out for me to use all my fingers on one hand that have path tracing. And it's great tech that they're putting in on an engine that they're not going to support after this, because the Red engine isn't going to be the engine they use for the next Cyberpunk. It's not going to be the engine they're using for the Witcher games they're developing. So this is kind of a dead engine that they're doing all these great upgrades for, but it is what it is, right? You need to be able to find a way to get, and working with NVIDIA to find a way to get ray reconstruction and that kind of stuff working on ray tracing and other GPUs that aren't just like the 4080 and 4090, because the 4080 and 4090 are the only ones that can play that game with that stuff on in any kind of acceptable frame rate. Dead Gone says, never got into this game, and no, I'm gonna have to accept that. I may never have the time to give it a try. Hey, look, I'll say this: we have time for the games that we want to have time for. So even if you think a game looks interesting or pretty cool, it may not look interesting or cool enough for you to stop playing something else that you find more interesting and more enjoyable to play. I mean, I think that's usually the way it is. Leah Fox says it's great. It's great that they didn't give up on the game. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they had to. They had to do what they did with this game, because that was their reputation. And you mentioned Anthem, exactly. The way EA forced BioWare to give up on Anthem and also give up on Mass Effect Andromeda within 90 days of it releasing, I think has adversely affected BioWare's reputation to a point where it's not reversible. I think that's a permanent stain on them, and people don't respect BioWare as a good developer anymore because of that. And EA forced them to just move on when they could have redeemed the game and redeemed themselves and their reputation. It's gone. It's too late for that. And CPR did it right. They made sure the game that, and it's their own fault for what they did. Like they that's what it's called, bounce back. MK, I call them max stocks, but they're the bounce back MK like inhalers. Yeah, man, I had like 800 of those. Now they're gone. Anyway, CD Projekt Red needed to do this, because if they left Cyberpunk a broken mess like they did, like they released it, nobody really would be checking for the Witcher 1 remake that they're doing right now. Nobody would have been checking for that. But now, because of this, and because the work they put in, and it's the game, for the most part, that they said it would be, yeah, people going to be looking for that Witcher 1. Yeah, people are all in on Phantom Liberty. There you have it. Dev says, I was so hyped for Anthem. Wanted to try it when it came out, but then I heard the reception, so I backed off. Anthem's a fun game. I think the campaign still stinks. I think the story sucks. I think your character has zero personality, but hey, that's Destiny. Some people love it. So anyway, the gameplay is fun. The flying is excellent. If you play the game right, when I say play the game right, if you focus on your skills and only really use your gun as a supplemental way of doing DPS while your skills are on cooldown, you would have an amazing time with Anthem. The gameplay is really fun. It's on that trash Frostbite engine, so there's just like, that thing is very difficult to troubleshoot issues, and BioWare definitely failed in doing so with that. And you know, all the promises that they had made, like if I was really upset at EA. I was really upset at EA for making the decision they made with Anthem, because why even allow BioWare to officially announce an Anthem next and start showing screenshots of the stuff they were working on? Hey, look, this is actual skill trees. We're doing actual skill trees now. All these other things they were doing that excited people, only for them to cancel it. It's like, at that point, and I understand why they canceled it. They canceled it because they knew they couldn't monetize this Anthem update, because the game didn't live up to expectations, and a lot of people would be like, why I gotta pay for this update when I already gave you $80 on a Legion of Dawn edition for a game that did not deliver at all in anything that I wanted. I'm not spending money on this update. You better give it to me for free. But when the BioWare team that was working on Anthem Next was 50 people, and they're asking for double that, and they're asking for a timetable of 2 years to make this work, that's a lot of money. And EA's looking at it like, we can't monetize the work that you're working on. It's just to fix a prior game that more than likely some people will jump back in, but not everybody. And this is really kind of comes down to, again, executives making decisions that aren't like a gamer kind of decisions. Like, if it was up to gamers, they would fix Anthem. They would fix any game that was a disappointment when it released. They would just fix that stuff, and you wouldn't care about the cost of things, because we're gamers. So we just want games that are good. But on the business financial side of things, they're looking at that and they're just like, the IP, this name, is irrevocably harmed by how everything turned out. It does not matter what we put into it. It's an L. So we might as well just take all the L's we already got and just move on. So I do understand that mentality. But I think Cyberpunk kind of proves that you can kind of buck that trend and it actually worked. So, yeah, that's all I got. It's about 1 o'clock here. I need to jump on, take care of a couple emails. I really want to play Cyberpunk, man. I really want to play it right now. But I don't have the time. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow. And we'll do, I'll hold off on the Phantom Liberty campaign. Maybe I'll start it tomorrow in a live stream. I'll figure it out. But, hold on real quick. I need to drink some water. Appreciate everybody for coming through. As usual, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being patient with me, with being sick and dealing with all the other stuff I had to deal with. But I'm gonna be more consistent now that I'm back on my feet. A couple more live streams like I had planned. The videos that I'm working on, I'm definitely now about to knock those out. Sorry about the whole Expanse Telltale series. That is now complete. Not necessarily, and I'm saying I completed it, but they've released all the episodes, and so now I need to just go play it and record myself playing it and then do my reviews on it, and then I'll release that. So all that stuff is being worked on. Is just now kind of backlogged due to life and all this stuff. But I think y'all understand. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. It's just the way things are. But we're going to get about here. Appreciate you guys. DPS podcast will be this Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be on Gaming Forte's channel and on the DPS podcast channel. I'm going to throw the link for DPS podcast channel and Forte's channel in the chat. I don't know why I said it like that. See, there's Forte. Whoops, here we go. It's Forte's channel if you haven't been there already. I don't think we have a guest. I have to double check. I don't think we have a guest. I think it's just me and a homie. But you know how majority of our shows are just me and him, so it's going to be a good time. Gregor says, farewell, meanest member of Scumcast. Clearly, the poll showed that I was actually the nicest member, by far the nicest member on Scumcast. That's what I recall the poll saying, and I'm gonna stick to it. Why can't I find the where the heck is the where's DPS Pod? Here's wild, like when you got a little channel, like YouTube is just disrespectful. How come I can put in the actual I found a whole different DPS now. Was this a K-pop band? Oh my, like I can't put in my own channel. Wow, and that is all in my ears. That's a K-pop rock band. Do I want no, I'm gonna get demonetized for playing that. Let me not do that. You know what? Maybe I gotta put the whole name in. Maybe it will pop up now. There it is, finally. Okay. There's that channel. SloMo head to Korea. I wouldn't mind going to Korea, South Korea. I haven't been able to travel in a long time. That would be pretty cool, honestly. But no, it says Gregor says too many people didn't vote out of fear. I doubt that. There's be no retaliation for me. If people feel a certain way about me, there's nothing I can do about that. I just just say peace and love to you, and go on about your way in your life. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. Yeah. All right, I'm getting out of here. You guys take care. Play your games. Don't care about console wars. All the usual stuff. I will see you guys soon, and peace out.